So at the beginning of the story, we see a businessman named Claudio leaving his home this morning for work. On his way to work, Claudio notices that his driver is taking him on a different route, one with much heavier traffic. Claudio had a very important meeting at his company. Therefore, Claudio becomes very angry with his driver for being late. Then we learn from the car radio that riots are breaking out in various parts of the city, causing panic among the people. However, Claudio pays no attention to the news and asks his driver to turn off the radio. A short while later, Claudio arrives at his company. As he enters, he meets a girl named Sylvia. Sylvia had joined Claudio's company just 2 months earlier. Sylvia had come to Claudio for some work, but just then another girl named Martha passes by Claudio. Claudio looks at Martha in a very strange way. He then leaves Sylvia's conversation and quickly follows Martha, who is going up in the elevator. Claudio also follows her inside. Martha was Claudio's former girlfriend. But when Martha discovered that Claudio was a very nasty man and wanted to take every girl to bed, she left him because she didn't want to be in a relationship with such a man. Anyway, here, Claudio tries to get closer to Martha while talking to her, but Martha pushes Claudio away by hitting him in the private parts. She also tells him, "Whatever you're thinking, nothing like this is going to happen between us again." After saying this, Martha gets off the elevator, and Claudio continues to look at Martha longingly. As Claudio is going to his floor, he receives a call from his wife, Lorraine. Claudio tells him, "There's a lot of rioting going on in the city, and something doesn't feel right here." But Claudio doesn't pay much attention to her words. While Claudio is talking to his wife, the elevator lights go out and the elevator stops mid-ride. Seeing this, Claudio quickly disconnects his wife's call and tries to talk to the elevator operator. Claudio is furious with the elevator operator because he had a very important meeting today, and all this is happening to him. The elevator operator tells Claudio that something's wrong with the upper floor. "I'm sending some technicians to get the elevator fixed as soon as possible." Claudio waits for the elevator to be fixed. Just then, Claudio receives a call from a girl named Sarah. She tells him that everyone who's supposed to be attending the meeting is leaving. "If you want to come to the meeting, come quickly, otherwise they'll all leave." Claudio tells Sarah to hold them there by any means necessary. "I'll be back in 5 minutes. But what could Claudio do? He just sat there waiting for the lights to come back on. But even after waiting for a long time, there was still no sign of the lights coming back on. Seeing this, Claudio became extremely angry. He spoke to the lift operator again. The lift operator said, "Don't worry too much. I've sent some boys upstairs to check." Claudio then got the number of one of the boys from the operator. Claudio then called the technician and asked him what was wrong upstairs. The technician told Claudio that the generator had broken down. Just as Claudio had said this, he suddenly heard the technician screaming. It sounded as if someone was after his life. At that moment, the technician's call was disconnected. Seeing this, Claudio tried to contact the lift operator again. This time he tells her, "I'll come upstairs and see for myself, because I don't have enough time to wait here." Claudio then tries to open the elevator door himself. He tries with all his might, but it only opens a little. Claudio sees that there's no one on the floor in front. This makes him feel very strange. He starts shouting for help, but no one answers. Just then, Claudio receives another call from his brother, Florin. She tells him, "Someone's banging loudly outside our house. I tried to ask who's outside, but there's no answer. I'm very scared because I've seen on the news that people are slowly going crazy and they're even hitting each other." Now, upon hearing his wife's voice, Claudio realizes that his wife, Lauren, is extremely nervous. Claudio tells Lauren, "Don't worry, I'll call my friend. He'll come to you." Lauren then tells him, "Don't send anyone home, you should come home yourself." Claudio tells Lauren, "Today is a very important day for me, so I can't come home, but I will send my friend to you for your safety." Claudio hangs up, then he calls his friend and asks him to go to Lauren's house. Claudio's friend also agrees to go to Lauren. Seeing this, Claudio relaxes a bit. Anyway, as he cuts the coal, he sees a lot of people screaming and running around in front of the elevator. Claudio can't understand what's going on. Just then, Martha falls in front of the elevator. She's extremely nervous. Seeing Claudio, Martha quickly tries to get inside. Claudio is also helping Martha get inside. But then something pulls Martha back. Claudio is terrified. While he's trying to understand this, a group of strange people try to attack Cloud. They're only attacking Cloud from outside, but they can't get in because the elevator door is only slightly open. In reality, a virus has spread throughout the city. People were slowly turning into zombies after being infected. Claudio was terrified by the sight of the zombies. Suddenly he heard someone scream, and all of them rushed towards the sound. Frightened, Claudio quickly called his friend and told him about the zombies. But his friend, on the other hand, couldn't understand what he was saying. Claudio told him, "I'm on my way, and there's a lot of traffic. It'll take me a while to get home." Just then, Claudio began screaming and his call was disconnected. Seeing this, Claudio realized that perhaps the zombies had killed her too. Claudio then tried to call his wife, but Lorraine wouldn't answer. So he begins to worry about his wife. Just then, the elevator operator contacts Claude. He tells Claude that he went upstairs and checked, but there was no technician there. By this time, the lights had come back on, but the elevator was stuck in one place. The elevator operator was talking to Claudio when a horde of zombies entered his room and killed him on the spot. Seeing this, Claudio's last hopes were dashed. But just then, Claudio received a call from Sarah. When Claudio answered Sarah's call, a zombie like Marta reached into the elevator and grabbed Claudio. Claudio somehow freed himself from Marta. Then the players pulled out an iron rod from the elevator, which they used to hit Marta on the head with. Marta, turned into a zombie by the constant beatings, dies on the spot. Claudio breathes a sigh of relief after killing Marta, but then he notices Marta's blood, which is constantly flowing into the elevator. Seeing this, the player quickly pulls Marta away from the elevator. He then takes out a water bottle and thoroughly washes his face and hands with water to prevent the blood from becoming infected. Just then, Claudio notices the blood in the elevator. To prevent it from spreading throughout the elevator, he covers it with paper. Claudio then sits quietly in one place. Then he sees Selbia trying to hide somewhere outside. Seeing Selbia, Claudio gently calls her over and asks her to help him open the elevator. Selbia also helps Claudio open the elevator, but Claudio accidentally makes a noise, and hearing the noise, a zombie arrives. But before the zombie arrives, Claudio tries to get Selbia into the elevator, but there's so little space between the elevator doors that Selbia can't get inside, so Selbia quickly runs away to hide. The zombie is following Selbia, but Selbia finds a golf stick and kills the zombie with it. Seeing this, both Claudio and Selbia are overjoyed. Selbia felt like she had won the entire battle by killing one zombie. But then a horde of zombies arrives and attacks Selbia. Selbia, she can't handle so many zombies alone, and they all end up there with Selbia. They kill her. Seeing this, Claudio tries to attract the zombies by making noise, but it's to no avail. Then he remembers his wife, Lorraine. He quickly calls her. When Lorraine picks up, Claudio notices that she's also very nervous, having learned about the zombie year. Just then, Lorraine starts screaming loudly, and the call cuts off. Seeing this, Claudio realizes that the zombies have attacked and killed his wife as well. Claudio is completely devastated by the grief of his wife's death. Time continues to pass in this manner, but there's no movement outside. But then, a short while later, a man appears outside the elevator, and seeing Claudio inside, tries to get in. Claudio tells the man, "I've already tried so hard to open this elevator, but it won't open. So go hide somewhere, or you'll soon be killed by zombies." Claudio is explaining this to the man when more zombies arrive and attack him. Seeing this, Claudio becomes extremely angry. He starts screaming frantically. As a result, many zombies start coming towards the elevator. They try to get in, but they can't. Claudio, also inside the elevator, is extremely frustrated. In a rage, he picks up his bore rod and begins killing the zombies. Claudio then sees that Sarah is still alive, trying to escape. He tells her to quickly hide, so Sarah tries to hide in a room. But by then, a large number of zombies have followed Sarah. They enter the room with Sarah and kill her on the spot. And so Sarah is killed. Seeing this, Claudio goes absolutely crazy. He loses control of himself. Claudio then watches a video of a reporter who was live streaming. During the live stream, some zombies chase her and kill her on the spot. Just then, the elevator lights go out again, and some zombies try to get inside. But this time, Claudio remains completely calm. Just then, a whistle blows, and the zombies begin to move in that direction. Those zombies who were standing around the elevator are shot by someone. The shooter is actually an army officer, who is overjoyed to see this. Claudio asks the officer, "Where are the rest of your comrades?" The officer replies, "I'm alone here, and I've lost contact with my headquarters." The officer then tries to open the elevator door, but he can't. At that very moment, a zombie attacks the officer, but he shoots the zombie with his short gun. Now, since the officer couldn't open the elevator, he plans to go upstairs and fix the generator. Before leaving, the officer gives Claudio a box-like toy so that Claudio can use it to guide him. He also gives Claudio a gun and tells him that if he encounters a zombie, he should shoot directly at its head, as zombies only die when shot in the head. After this, the officer leaves. Claudio uses the box-like toy to guide him upstairs to the generator. Claudio tells the officer to be careful, as some technicians had gone there but hadn't returned. This means there are definitely zombies there too. Just then, a large number of zombies appear outside Claudio's elevator. Seeing them, Claudio panics. But the officer, using his bakatogi, convinces Claudio to shoot all the zombies. Claudio then follows suit, shooting them all. After killing all the zombies, he begins blaming himself. He says, "I killed everyone who worked with me." The officer was listening to Claudio's conversation. He explains to Claudio, "They weren't your colleagues anymore. They were zombies, and you've only reduced your problems by killing them. Just then, the officer is surrounded by a large number of zombies, causing the officer to scream. Hearing the officer's screams, Claudio realizes that the zombies killed the officer as well. Claudio is deeply saddened by this realization, because for a while he had hope, but now that hope is gone. Just then, Claudio spots some army officers outside who are being chased by zombies. The zombies kill them all in front of Claudio. Well, from there, time slowly passes. Claudio spends the entire night in the elevator. The next morning arrives, but no one has come to his aid yet. Now, Claudio has finally decided to kill himself. He's about to put the gun in his mouth and shoot himself when he hears the officer's voice from the elevator. Hearing the officer's voice, Claudio removes the gun from his mouth. The officer tells Claudio to quickly open the emergency door at the top of the elevator. Claudio sees that the emergency door is quite high up, so Claudio tries to open it with the rod he has kept. After a little struggle, the door finally opens. Then the officer also enters the elevator. Once inside, he kills all the zombies standing outside one by one with his short gun. Then Claudio's eyes fall on the officer's feet. The officer was bitten by a zombie. While he was upstairs to fix the generator, he was attacked by a horde of zombies. He somehow managed to escape, but was still bitten by one. Claude, however, asks the officer about the virus. The officer tells Claude that the virus originated in a lab where scientists were conducting experiments. Their experiment failed, and as a side effect, people began turning into zombies. After a while, the officer began vomiting blood. The officer understood very well that he too was about to become a zombie. That's why he tells Claude, "I'm sleeping. When I fall asleep, you can shoot me." But Claudio flatly refuses to do so. Seeing this, the officer forcibly hands Claudio the gun and tells him that he's doing this for his safety. The officer falls asleep, and then moments later he transforms into a zombie. But Claudio was completely unaware of this. The zombie-like officer attacks Claudio. This frightens Claudio deeply, and he shoots and kills the officer on the spot. However, in the scuffle, Claudio also receives a bullet wound to his leg. After killing the officer, Claudio examines his leg, which is in immense pain and bleeding profusely. Seeing this, Claudio quickly ties his leg with his tie to stop the bleeding. But then, overcome with weakness, Claudio faints on the spot. When he regains consciousness, he sees that there's not a single zombie outside. Just then, Claudio's phone rings. When Claudio picks up his phone, it's his wife, Lorraine. Hearing Lorraine's voice overjoyed Claudio, as he had assumed she was dead, but she was alive. Just then, Claudio's phone switches off, but Claudio is still happy that his wife is safe. At that very moment, Claudio tries to open the elevator again. While opening it, he notices something stuck in the elevator. Claudio quickly pulls the metal object out of the elevator with his rod. After removing it, Claudio tries to open the elevator door again, but it opens smoothly. When Claudio exits the elevator, he finds a pile of human corpses outside. In fact, while Claudio was unconscious, an army team entered the building and wiped out all the zombies. As Claudio was leaving the building, he encountered a zombie with its legs severed. It was crawling towards him. Claudio crushed the zombie to death with his own foot. He then exited his building, where there were no zombies. Claudio continued walking and reached a bridge, where another zombie attacked him. Just then, a bullet struck the zombie directly in the head. The entire city was surrounded by the army. Claudio, upon seeing the army officer, waved to him, asking for help. Thus, Claudio's life was saved, and with that, friends, the movie ended. So how did you like this movie? Let us know in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and select the bell notifications to all so that notifications for the next video will come to you. So let me meet you in a new, interesting video. Until then, stay happy and take care.